Hello everybody, my name is Praveen Bashal and I am the Director of Trainings at Debate Network Nepal. Also I am a core member at DNN. In this video today I am going to talk about how the debating culture was introduced in our country, about how DNN was formed, also the challenges we faced in the way, and the visions we had while forming the Debate Network Nepal, and also the future visions that we hold to, that we expect to hold. It all started back then around at 2010, where some Nepalese students who got the idea of the debating culture that had been existing in the foreign lands, and then it struck to the mind that this kind of culture should be introduced, this genuine debating culture should be introduced in our country as well, and that was when some youths collaborated among themselves. And never to miss one name in the list, Mr. Pradeep Rajgimire. They were persons as such, say to the fate of Nepalese debate movement, that who hold the plan of introducing it into the academia of our country, and rising up to the politics and working out for strengthening the democracy, empowering the youth factor of our country and stuff. So there were people like him and many other leaders who collaborated and then started debating, started forming platforms for debating, started encouraging students to come forward and debate, and started encouraging other people, not just students but other people from several fields, to come up and debate and introduce debating culture wherever they had to. And then by mid 2013 DNN was informally established, and by 2015 it was registered as a social enterprise. Well, the youths collaborated with a lot of visions, but then that came with a lot of challenges itself. And the major problem I would say that's not been missed is the notion of debating itself that existed in our country. Well, it is said that the religious textbook and stuff, they say that debating culture was flourished in our country since very ancient times, or say before any other land were introducing debating. But then till that point of time, only the traditional form of debating was being practiced in our country, which actually encourages the students to just raise their voices, to just show their power in form of debating, but not the actual power of analysis, or say the genuine debating culture. So that was the notion of debating that had been existing, which was the major problem. The parents, the society used to think that the children are not learning the actual things of analysis and stuff, but they're learning to be arrogant and others. So now, the other big problem that I would mention is nobody providing the platforms for debating. Even if the students know within themselves that they need to debate, there was nobody to groom them into debating. There were no platforms to provide them debating culture. So the other big problem I would mention is not having any platforms, no academics or institutions providing the platforms. So again, if somebody was willing to provide the platforms, the third big problem, the money itself, financially not strong. So if somebody is going to support us financially, only if they know the worth of it, and to make them understand the worth of it, we need to first organize a debate and prove to them that this is some genuine form of culture, not the traditional one that had been existing. And so there were a lot of problems that we were facing, that those youths were facing at that point of the time. But then, despite of that, we must say, though we claim that we have barely scratched the surface, but then we have come very far from that. We have tried our level best. Well, I have seen debating grow from zero in our country, and we must say we have provided 100% of our effort, the best we could. We have been doing that, and in terms of achievements, or say the things we have been doing, we have been doing a lot of things in terms of introducing debating and promoting the debating culture in our country, and some of which includes, that needs to be mentioned, a one-day debate workshop which we provide to several schools and institutions, switching the schools every time, named as the Debate Aadhaar, where it translates as the fundamentals of debating, where the students who are not known to this parliamentary form of debating, we introduce them to this parliamentary form of debating and they learn it. And similarly, we have this 3 days residential package called the Tarkasala, or which translates as the School of Argumentation, where the debaters are groomed and then they are intensely trained for 3 days, and we even hire international trainers for that. And similarly, we have been organizing a lot of tournaments and mini debate tournaments, and we groom the students to form debate clubs in their schools and institutions, and wherever we provide debate trainings, they work on their own after the training is over. They start organizing debate competitions and even mini debate tournaments. One of the considerable things that we have seen is the students are so much into debating that they have started organizing these mini debate tournaments on their own. And similarly, we have given equal focus to the language barrier that we had while introducing the debate. A solution to which is organizing debate competitions in Nepali language as well, and similarly organizing the 3 days residential workshop in Nepali form as well, Nepali language, and also a program named Chakraview, where the debaters groom to debate in Nepali language. So the other considerable thing that we need to mention is we have been organizing these debate competitions and providing trainings by giving equal focus to Nepali language as well. And similarly, we have been facilitating the Nepalis' participation in international tournaments, and we have been grooming them, we have been training them for making the best out of Nepali debaters in terms of standard of quality. And then also we have been giving equal focus to public speaking as well, because Debate Network Nepal mentions that not just debating but public speaking, because we understand that the manners of public speaking are equally important for debate as well. And so these are the events that we have been doing, the programs we come up with in terms of introducing the debating culture and encouraging the people to debate, and we have a lots in our list in the days to come as well. And to sum up, to mention are some of the major achievements that we are proud of, that DNN is proud of. To mention, one of the considerable thing we have done is we have introduced debating culture to the politics as well, because just to recall, DNN was established also to strengthen the democracy of our country and to empower the youths of our country, and that also asks us to introduce the debating culture in the politics of our country as well. And so we have the residential debate packages for the politicians of our country as well, and we have been organizing tournaments by including the members of parliament as well. They have been supportive, they have been working with us, and we have been trying to encourage the politicians in the maximum possible majority to learn this genuine culture of debating, and then introduce the debating to strengthen the democracy of our country. Well, the other considerable achievement that we are proud of is we have equally dealt with the language barrier, because whenever it came up to international representation or say comparing with the international debaters, the first problem we had was language barrier, because English is not our native language. So we have been giving equal focus to Nepali language as well. We have been organizing competitions and tournaments in Nepali language, so that is a big achievement that we find. And similarly, facilitating the Nepali debaters to international tournaments. Now, that's also a big achievement we find, because this is not the culture that has been existing. Nepalese going foreign to compete in something, and that in the war of analysis, or say such genuine tournaments, so where the standards are matter. So we have been focusing on facilitating them to international tournaments, so that's a big achievement for us. And well, the other thing we have focused on is institutionalizing the process of learning debating, or say institutionalizing the debate culture as a whole, because we needed to match with whatever kind of culture that exists with foreign land. Realizing that that kind of culture is, that kind of trend is good one, is important one. So we have tried our best to institutionalize the process of debate, and we have institutionalized the entire process of selection of Nepali contingency to represent in foreign, or say selection of adjudicators for any tournament, and we have worked out for institutionalizing the debate culture in terms of providing a recognition to the body itself for regulating everything, regulatory as a regulatory authority. So we have tried our level best to institutionalize the debate culture, and we are in the process of that. Well, at the moment we have a small office, a very lively office I would say. We have some dedicated staffs that have been working in fields related to debating. We also have an executive team that has been working restlessly at the policy level, at the administrative level. Well, similarly we have a lot of debate events and programs going on, and that encourages a lot of people to come into the networking, into the society. And similarly we are representing in this year's WDC at Greece, and we have preparations going on for that. So this is a very lively environment that we have in terms of debating in the country at present, and that encourages us, making us believe that yes, we have come far, and yet we need to go a lot. So this is a very lively environment, and we have a high spirit at the moment, high energy. And so to sum up, well, we have learned significant things in this quest, in this journey of say 5 years. We have learned the first major learning is that debate needs to be institutionalized. We believe that institutionalizing this process of promoting the debate is of prime importance, because that is important to give a sustainable shape or frame to the debating community as a whole. And in that process we also need to work with the government, with other regulatory authorities to provide it a proper shape, and so that is of importance. And also we have understood that we need to give equal focus to the underprivileged group as well, because debating is necessary for everybody, and then if it is to be made sustainable, everybody should be looked forward to. And similarly we have understood that finance it is important. Finance is important, but then we don't necessarily need to rely every time on donors. We need to rely on them, but not every time, because we need to work out the sources of finances for our operation by ourselves, and that's what we also have been doing in our country. And similarly, language barrier, that's of importance, because debating is not just a single language. Debating is not actually even just a language. It is about presenting our views, presenting our analysis, and that does not demand, or say that hardly matters on what language we are using. So we need to provide equal focus on the national language, or say the mother tongue of the country, and not just the international language like English. Well, we also believe that we need to provide platforms for students to form debate clubs, and we need to provide equal mentoring and supervision to them, and guiding them for their efficiency and effectiveness. And also we believe that we need to make the entire process really inclusive. And finally, we believe that we need to instill the values that we learn from debating and apply it into our life, our daily life, our social life, or even the democracy of our country, to provide it an approach to the maximum possible areas. So we have learned quite a lot in this process, and then we have equally strengthened our efficiency. We have strengthened the way we have been working. We have been strengthening our effort, and that has increased our spirit to work. So yeah, we have been working really good, and we will be working the same with a greater efficiency, with a greater effort in the days to come.